In a remote mountain village, there lived an old shepherd named Mohan. At 70, he was a figure of respect, known for his simple, solitary life, his unwavering faith, and his charitable heart. His days were spent tending to his flock, his nights in quiet prayer. The villagers saw him as a pillar of integrity, a man who had conquered worldly temptations. But the human heart is a complex and mysterious thing, and even the most righteous can harbor hidden weaknesses. One evening, as a storm gathered, a young woman named Rina appeared at his doorstep. She was beautiful, but her eyes were filled with sorrow. She had lost everything: her parents, her family's land, and any means of support. She was alone, destitute, and desperate for shelter. Seeing her plight, Mohan was torn. His first instinct was to help, but then doubt crept in. What would the villagers say? An old man and a young, beautiful woman living together. He was also aware of his own frailty, the loneliness that had settled deep in his bones after years of solitude. He hesitated, suggesting she seek help elsewhere. But Rina's desperate pleas and the sincerity in her eyes stirred his conscience. His compassion won out. He offered her a small, separate hut near his own, a safe haven from the storm and the world. Rina, grateful for his kindness, quickly proved herself to be more than just a guest. She was hardworking and respectful, waking at dawn to help with the sheep, cooking meals, and keeping the small homestead tidy. She insisted on earning her keep, refusing to be a burden. Her presence brought a spark of life to Mohan's quiet world. As days turned into weeks, a subtle change began to work on Mohan. He found himself looking forward to her gentle smiles and the sound of her voice. But this newfound warmth was shadowed by a growing internal conflict. He had spent a lifetime cultivating virtue and suppressing worldly desires. Now, the constant presence of this vibrant young woman stirred feelings he thought were long buried. His loneliness, once a quiet companion, now felt like a gaping void, and a dangerous desire began to take root in the darkness of his heart. Rina, for her part, was always on guard. She was deeply thankful for Mohan's protection, but life had taught her to be cautious. She knew her beauty could be a magnet for unwanted attention. And despite Mohan's fatherly kindness, she never fully let down her guard. She maintained a respectful distance, her intuition warning her that even a good man's kindness could have its limits. She trusted him, but she also understood the delicate balance of their situation. Then, one moonless night, the unspoken tension shattered. Driven by a force he could no longer control, Mohan quietly left his hut and crept towards Rina's. He unlatched her door and stepped inside. Rina was asleep, her face peaceful in the dim light. Mohan stood there, his heart pounding, a war raging within him. He didn't touch her, didn't harm her in any physical way. He just watched, his presence a violation, his gaze an intrusion that desecrated the sanctity of her trust. After a few agonizing moments, he retreated, leaving behind a silence that was heavier than any sound. But they were not the only ones awake that night. Hidden in the shadows, two thieves had been watching the shepherd's home, planning to steal his valuable sheep. They witnessed Mohan's silent, shameful act. They saw the celebrated saint of the village reveal a crack in his moral armor. A sinister idea began to form in their minds. They had just discovered a weakness they could exploit. The next morning, the air was thick with unspoken words. Rina knew. She felt it. The sense of safety she had cherished was gone, replaced by a profound sense of violation. Though no physical harm had been done, her honor had been compromised. The man she had looked to as a protector had betrayed her trust in the most intimate way. Without a word of accusation, she packed her few belongings, took the small share of sheep she had earned, and left. She walked away from the mountains, back towards a life of uncertainty, choosing poverty over a home where her dignity was no longer sacred. A few weeks later, the two thieves put their plan into action. They approached Mohan, not as robbers, but as admirers. They claimed to be filmmakers, wanting to make a documentary about his devout and simple life, celebrating him as a local hero. Mohan, his heart already heavy with guilt and now starved for validation, fell for their flattery. He welcomed them, eager to restore his self-image. For days they filmed him, praised him, and earned his complete trust. Then one night they made their move. They convinced Mohan that they needed to film the flock under the moonlight for a dramatic final scene. The trusting old shepherd agreed. Under the cover of darkness and deception, the thieves rounded up every last one of his sheep and disappeared into the night. When the sun rose, Mohan awoke to a devastating reality. His flock, his entire life's work and wealth, was gone. The praise of the filmmakers now echoed as cruel mockery. The news spread like wildfire. The villagers who once revered him now saw him as a fool. His reputation was shattered. He had lost not just his wealth, but the respect that had been the bedrock of his identity. Alone, disgraced, and consumed by a regret that gnawed at his soul, Mohan withered away. Died a lonely old man, a tragic postscript to a life that once seemed so virtuous. Meanwhile, Rina's journey was arduous. She sold her few sheep and faced hardship once again, but she did not despair. She met another woman, a kind widow, who saw her strength and resilience. Together, they started a small weaving business. Slowly, painstakingly, Rina rebuilt her life, not on the charity of others, but on the foundation of her own hard work and unwavering dignity. Her spirit, though tested, had not been broken. She found a new kind of peace, one that came from self-reliance and integrity. This story is a stark reminder of a profound truth. The line between virtue and vice can be terrifyingly thin. One moment of moral failure, one lapse in judgment, can set in motion a cascade of consequences from which there is no return. Mohan's story is not just about a shepherd who lost his sheep. It's about a man who lost his soul because he failed to honor the dignity of another. It teaches us that our greatest test of character is not how we act in the public eye, but what we do in the shadows when we think no one is watching, because true honor is fragile, and once broken, it can cost us everything. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe for more stories that make you think.